Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial, and today I'm going to be talking about one of my personal favorites in Airbnb, which trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol ABNB. One of the reasons why I want to call them out explicitly is because we've seen over the month of April, they have had a sharp, or since the month of April, they've had a sharp decline in their overall price. However, the price to earnings ratio continues to stay incredibly high. Now, this is a company that is not going to be announcing earnings until mid-August, so we've got some time, but the question is, what is the conjecture, what is the expectation in terms of how they are going to be performing going forward? Right now, you can see that they are currently locked in or expected at an August 10th, so we've got more than a month and a half, or right at a month and a half until that earnings announcement. Now, Q2 is expected to see a much higher expectation than what we saw last calendar year in terms of overall revenue and profitability. If we dive into the fundamentals here on TD Ameritrade's website, you'll be able to see some of those income statements and the performance over the past few quarters. And the expectation is that the company should, in theory, continue to produce a very strong net income. Now, one of the concerns that I have based on Q2 is gas prices. Now, we have seen incredibly high gas prices, which we would expect to weigh heavily on individuals' ability to travel. We've also seen continued hostility in Eastern Europe, which I imagine has put some downward pressure on European rentals. However, that may be made up for in the larger increases in price. Now, that being said, you can also see that the pricing pressure is going to affect the expense column as well. So the general question is, based off of increasing pricing, are people going to continue to travel? We've seen incredibly high prices on a number of Airbnb properties. We've seen incredibly high prices associated with hotel industry. So the question therein is, can Airbnb benefit from this? What is their path to growth, or is it strictly going to be continuing to scale, whether that's domestically or internationally? Now, in terms of the valuation of the company right now, they are priced very high in terms of where they're at. Now, you can see they've got the industry averages here. This is in the hotels, restaurants, and leisure category. I would take a step back and recognize that Airbnb is a software company. Again, they are leveraging their software so that people can utilize their platform. And as such, a price to earnings ratio of 88, or we'll call it close to 90, is very, very high. Price to sales of nearly 10 is very, very high. Now, one of the things that we're seeing a slow return, though, is their high levels of profitability. Now, the question is, can the overall profitability of 12% at the net profit level continue to grow? Now, in terms of growth, one of the concerns I have is that we've got to see better top line revenue growth. I'm not as concerned about the most recent quarter because Q4 is always their big quarter, but trailing 12 months, they're growing at nearly 100% year over year. And that's the number that we have to see continue to grow. Again, whether that's by scale or by price increases, we have to see this number to grow. Otherwise, they can't warrant that 90 price to earnings ratio. That's where we're going to continue to see some trouble and potentially have some concerns or issues. Now, as we continue to watch the stock go forward, the question is this going to be a return to normalcy, or is this going to be a return to pre-pandemic levels? You can see that when they went public in 2020, at the end of 2020, that they continued to perform very well, getting north of $200 a share. This is one of my stocks for 2022 that we're currently down on. Now, at around $100 a share, they are still priced at a premium in terms of overall valuation. However, they are continuing to grow incredibly rapidly. Now, one of the things that I would call out is in terms of fundamentals or total income, that the company is expected on an annual basis to bring in close to, for 2022, we'll call it 1.5 billion in total income. Now, if that is going to be the case, that is going to be great, but the company is currently trading at a total market capitalization of 66 billion. So that's where we could continue to see some overall concerns, is with those high valuations. At this point in time, I'm not looking to add to the position in Airbnb just due to some of the concerns, especially associated with rate hikes going forward. As such, I am going to continue to watch this stock because I continue to see a lot of value, but I think that they could come under regulatory or town ordinance pressure, as well as they could continue to suffer from high gas prices, which is deflating the capability of individuals to travel this summer. That being said, it's on my list to watch, and I look forward to seeing how they perform going forward. If you find this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe.